things are getting a lot worse and worse and worse. In fact, I thought by now things would get rectified to a degree. However, it's not been rectified to a degree at all. In fact, it's getting worse, as I stated before. We talked about the killer clowns who did state that they're going to be invading New York City. And of course, we talked about in the previous broadcast about a woman who called 911, who told her story about a killer clown chasing her after she arrived to her house. Now, we actually have a story now that we're able to share concerning about a young man who actually has a story talking about a killer clown who was stalking him outside of his house. And this is taking place over there in New York City. So again, more and more killer clowns seem to be appearing in New York. And it's not just New York City, however, folks. It's going to be, apparently from the killer clowns themselves, it's going to be all over the nation and to all over the globe. We're getting set for October 31st. Of course, this is October. So we only have less than a month left before the killer clown purge happening this year. You know, listen, things are getting a lot more scary, a lot worse, of course, a lot concerning as we're headed towards October 31st of 2024. That is the night in which, of course, the killer clowns intend to deliver this global purge. I call it the most dangerous night of the year, the Purge night, and many other people are going to look at it as Halloween night. However, again, will it be, perhaps maybe, the night that the world comes to an end? We're going to go ahead and reach over to the story that was sent via Instagram. This is coming from a young man. It says, quote, "I don't know when I first noticed him. Maybe it was a few nights ago when I thought I saw something moving at the end of the street just beyond the reach of the streetlights. I brushed it off, convinced it was my imagination playing tricks on me, but now I know it wasn't. It started around 11 p.m. I had just settled into bed, the house quiet, the TV flickering downstairs with whatever late night show I'd forgotten to turn off. That's when I heard it. Faint footsteps outside, slow and deliberate. At first, I thought it was some kid messing around or someone walking their dog, but the steps didn't go away. They lingered, circling my house like a predator sizing up its prey." My goodness. It continues, quote, "I sat up, my heart thudding in my chest, and glanced toward the window. For a second, I debated whether to check outside. Maybe it was nothing, but then I heard it again, louder this time. Footsteps crunching through the leaves just beneath my bedroom window. I got out of my bed, my legs feeling like lead, and peered out from behind the curtains. There he was, standing on my front lawn, just staring at the house. A clown, a killer clown, covered in streaks of dirt and grime. His face painted was cracked, his mouth twisted into a permanent, exaggerated grin. He didn't move, didn't make a sound, just stood there, staring up at my window like he knew I was watching him. His eyes, black and soulless, locked onto mine. I froze. I wanted to scream, to shout, to grab my phone and call the police, but my body wouldn't listen. My breath caught in my throat, and he slowly lifted his hand, a long, gloved finger extending toward me. He titled his head to the side, the movement jerky, unnatural. Then, without warning, he stepped closer. My heart pounding in my ears, I tore myself away from the window and backed up, bumping into the dresser behind me. I kept telling myself it wasn't real. It couldn't be real. Killer clowns don't just show up outside of people's houses in the middle of the night, right? But then the footsteps started again. He was circling the house. I could hear him, his heavy boots scraping against the gravel in the driveway, moving slowly, methodically. He was taking his time, like he was toying with me, savoring every second of my fear. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911, my fingers shaking, but the moment I tried to speak, I heard it, something tapping on the glass downstairs. I swallowed, my throat dry, and crept down the hallway, heart racing. I shouldn't have gone downstairs, I know that now, but I couldn't help myself. I had to know. I peeked around the corner into the living room, my eyes going straight to the window, and there he was again, standing just outside, his face inches from the glass. He raised his hand, tapped his filthy finger against the window pane, and smiled even wider, that horrible, inhumane grin. I stumbled back, dropping my phone, and the tapping stopped. Silence filled the house, thick and suffocating. Then slowly the door handle began to rattle. He was trying to get inside. Panic surged through me as I scrambled to my feet. I ran to the door and locked it, my hands shaking so badly I could barely grip the latch. For a moment, everything went quiet again. I held my breath, praying he'd go away. But then came the knock. 3 sharp raps on the door, followed by a low, raspy voice, "Come out and play." I backed away from the door, my whole body trembling. He wasn't going to leave. He was here for me. I don't know how long I stood there waiting, listening to the quiet. Minutes? Hours? The knocking eventually stopped, but I didn't dare move. Finally, I forced myself to look outside again, peeking through the curtains one last time. The lawn was empty, he was gone. But I knew deep down he'd be back. Please share this story, Eon Network. This happened to me just last night. Hopefully you'll be able to share this story so other people are aware that this is happening. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the story told from this victim, it does capture the fear and the tension being stalked by this killer clown. And we talked about the 911 call from the one, of course, from the woman in the previous broadcast, stating that she was getting attacked from a killer clown. The killer clown were looking to chase her down. And now we have a different story in which this young man was being stalked by a killer clown outside of his house. Now think about how scary it must be, how frightening it must be to just be living alone and to be just hearing things outside, and you look out the window and all of a sudden you see a crazed lunatic killer clown standing right there basically standing right there on your lawn. I mean, I can only imagine what this person was feeling like. And I know he said that he wanted to call 911, but it's just his body was frozen in time, it seemed like. He couldn't move, really, at the end of the day, and who can blame him? I mean, if I literally went outside or looked outside or whatever and I saw a killer clown standing there, I would be frozen for a few minutes. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd just be standing there looking in awe, and I'd be completely petrified. But I don't know, guys. I honestly do not know what's going to happen. Of course, we're getting closer and closer to the 31st of October, as I stated before, Halloween night, and we know what's going to be taking place on that night. Either the killer clowns are going to be succeeding once again in their plan of taking over the globe, or maybe, just maybe, once again, they're going to back off and they're going to let everyone else live, and we're going to just continue with our lives. But they said it in a number of different occasions. Trinkles the Clown said it too, that they are not going to stop until they're successful. They are not going to stop until the world is theirs. And just think about the minds of these guys, how sick, how demented and twisted these guys these guys have. And I was thinking about probably just, of course, dreaming every day on taking over this entire world on a daily basis. I mean, these guys, I think they wake up literally with the crave of just fear. Forget about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They just want fear. That's all they feed off of. These killer clowns are heartless. They're not humans. And I can guarantee you there's nobody on this earth that is able to level with them unless if you are a sick, demented killer clown at that case. Trinkles the Clown said it. They're not going to stop. The killer clowns are once again attacking. They are stalking, and they're looking to commit fear. Everyone, please beware. We are closer and closer to the 31st of October. On that night, we all know it as Halloween. However, looks like the killer clowns are looking to change history by calling it Purge Night, or as I like to put it, the most dangerous night of the year. The Purge Night, in which the killer clowns are going to be roaming the streets, where apparently they're going to attack. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Please stay safe out there. As always, make sure to continue to like, subscribe, and comment on these videos. Show your friends and family. Go ahead and share it on social media, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever the case may be. Please be aware and advised that things are really happening around the country, soon to be perhaps in the world. And we're going to find out what's going to transpire over the next few days as we're heading towards October 31st. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Please stay safe. We'll catch you in the next Killer Clown Report.